Every arc is a broadcast. Every eruption, a refusal.
All right, welcome back to the deep dive. Today, we have something. Well, it's a truly unusual comparison we're going to get into.
It really is.
We're looking at two legendary electric guitarists from, completely different worlds. On one side, you have the Japanese city pop master, Masayoshi Takanaka.
And on the other, the American iconoclast, Frank Zappa.
It seems like a random pairing, but the sources we're digging into today from M.Sc Magazine, they use this juxtaposition for something much deeper.
Exactly. This isn't just about music styles. They're using this as a conceptual tool, almost for a kind of social diagnosis.
And the core concept here, the idea that drives this whole thing, is what they call the sonic glyph.
Sonic glyph.
Yeah, the idea that the electric guitar isn't just playing notes, it's functioning as this bigger conceptual symbol, a mirror almost for these huge societal forces.
So our mission today is to really unpack that specific lens the source gives us, which is this idea of structure and rupture.
Structure and rupture, these two fundamental opposing forces that the guitar is supposedly expressing.
Right. And the argument basically is that the music acts like an X-ray. It's diagnosing whether a system is running smoothly or if it's fracturing.
Just based on the technical choices the musician makes?
Just based on that, the source literally calls this diagnostic cinema.
I love that phrase.
Me too. It's a way to see these big concepts like order and chaos just through sound. It's like an intellectual shortcut to understanding what's really going on under the surface.
Okay, so let's start with order. Let's dive into Masayoshi Takanaka, whose work is presented as building this infrastructure of order.
And specifically, we're looking at his 1978 album on guitar.
Right. And the description of that album in the source it's just so evocative. It ties the sound directly to this whole concept of alignment.
It really does. They call it a polished codex of city pop fusion.
A polished codex. So it's structured, it's technically perfect, and it is incredibly smooth.
And that's where the music is the concept, you see. The guitar is described as a vehicle of beauty.
You hear these like pristine, reverb-drenched leads, and they're always backed by this rhythm section that is just locked down. It's perfect. There's zero dissonance allowed.
None. The music is said to, and this is a quote, circulate smoothly through neon terrain. It just paints this picture of, flawless, controlled urban energy.
And that control.
Yeah.
That's the diagnosis of order, isn't it?
That's it, exactly. That seamless circulation, that polished perfection, that is the infrastructure of order. It implies the composition itself, the way the notes fit, the production, the rhythm. It all reflects a highly functioning, regulated system.
No jagged edges.
Ooh.
No unexpected turns.
Flawless structure.
Okay, so we've got the sonic perfection of order with Takanaka.
Yep.
But order usually implies something's being left out or repressed.
That's a great point.
So let's talk about what Zappa rejects. Let's shift hard into rupture. Okay, let's unpack this.
Yeah.
And swing forward 3 years to Frank Zappa's 1981 album, Shut Up and Play Your Guitar.
And this transition, conceptually, it's violent. The contrast could not be more stark.
It really couldn't.
Where Takanaka is building these flawless circuits, Zappa is stitching live improvisations into jagged indictments.
Okay, wait. Calling his guitar an indictment glyph.
Yeah.
That's some high-level stuff.
Yeah.
What is it about Zappa's actual playing, the sound of it, that makes it a symbol of accusation?
And that's the core of it, right?
And not just, aggressive random noise.
That's the diagnosis. Zappa's work is characterized as sovereign and refusal. It's this calculated, aggressive rejection of, established tonality and musical manners.
His guitar tone itself is just, it's raw.
Yeah.
It's unfiltered.
It is, and it feels like it's constantly arguing with the music around it. That jaggedness isn't an accident. It's the sound of the system being rejected. It's a sonic critique.
A jagged indictment.
There you go.
So Zappa is explicitly building the infrastructure of rupture. If Takanaka gives us the soundtrack to a perfect, beautiful city,
Yeah.
Zappa's giving us the raw audio of someone tearing up the blueprints for that city.
Yes. It's less about creating something aesthetically pleasing or, smoothly circulating.
And more about just exposing the tension that's already there.
Precisely. If one codifies how things should sound when they're in perfect alignment, the other one, it just detonates that alignment to show you the tension and the failure underneath. It's like driving through a sudden, unfiltered traffic jam.
Here's where it gets really interesting. You put these two albums side by side, Takanaka and Zappa, and the source concludes that what you see are mirrored glyphs, one polished, one raw.
And that's the whole point. This isn't just comparing guitar styles anymore. It's a diagnosis of a society's core operating system.
And that synthesis is what they're getting at.
It's the ultimate function of the analysis. The guitar itself becomes diagnostic cinema. It's a conceptual tool made specifically for analyzing and exposing both order and rupture at the same time.
Using the language of music.
The emotional and structural language of music, yeah.
Now, we have to talk about the source itself for a second, because the framework is, it's very distinct. It gives this whole thing a unique flavor.
It definitely does.
This analysis, it comes from a source that is certified and founded by a Dr. Melvin Sewell, and it operates out of the Cosmic University of Echo Rift Studies, Nike.
I know, it sounds esoteric, but you have to give them credit for the rigor, even within that kind of context.
Oh, for sure. The source site, Bibebibebibe, it uses all this specialized language like mythic infrastructure and cinematic indictment.
Right, and they do that to make it clear that this isn't just music critique to them. They see it as a mechanism for exposing these larger conceptual dynamics that are, underpinning our reality.
Which brings us directly to the sovereign diagnostic disclaimer. We have to decode this.
Yes, we do.
Because it really addresses the potential political charge of talking about systemic chaos and order.
Indeed. And the source is very explicit. It says the materials are designed only to expose high-level concepts, things like ritualized containment, actor convergence, and systemic erosion.
So big ideas.
Huge ideas. But, and this is crucial, they follow that up by saying that the content, the interpretations, the glyphs, all of it are diagnostic tools. They are explicitly not political endorsements.
Or institutional critiques.
Not at all.
So the analytical framework, it has to be seen as completely neutral. We're not looking at Zappa or Takanaka as like heroes or villains of some political ideology.
No. They're just sonic codifiers of these two opposing forces, structure and rupture. The focus stays purely on decoding the analytical tool that the source provides.
And that tool requires this sort of bizarre high-level infrastructure to claim its impartiality.
Exactly. The raw versus the polished just provides the data points. That's all it is. Data for the diagnostic cinema to run its course and examine dynamics without taking a side.
Well, that brings us to the end of this deep dive. We've explored how the electric guitar, at least according to this analysis, can codify order through Takanaka's smooth fusion.
And detonate rupture through Zappa's calculated rejections.
It's a fascinating dichotomy.
It is, and this raises an important question for you to consider. The source suggests the guitar speaks both languages. It can capture structure, and it can capture failure. So if music really does act as a sovereign diagnostic, how does the type of music that we gravitate toward? How does that reflect our own current relationship with order and rupture?
It's a heavy question.
It is. What insights does your own personal soundtrack offer about the systemic dynamics being exposed all around us?
Something to think about the next time you hit play. Thanks for joining us for this deep dive into structure and rupture as conceptual symbols.
You are not late. You are metabolizing distortion.